How can you compare this with 2010? How you compare two players, one saying like, oh, sometimes I should get the ball, I don't get it. Two players going on strike in 2010. There's no fire. I don't know who was talking about fire. There's no fire. There's just, it was just something that Giroud said they shouldn't have said. Should have said it straight to Mbappe. Mbappe was a bit upset. He said, hey, next time, tell it to me. Don't go public and say it to the whole media circus. And that was it. There was nothing. They don't even talk about it today.
Jules, why is Mbappe having a press conference to say that everything's fine? We sorted it out in the dressing room, and I can't believe that Giroud made this public. In public. What a lot of nonsense. Listen, if France beat Germany, then nothing will be said. I'll tell you what, if France get beaten by Germany, you bet your bottom dollar it's going to be about Mbappe and Giroud and upsetting the camp and doing this and doing that. There's clearly a problem. Otherwise, Mbappe is not calling a press conference to say there's nothing wrong.
But he's not. Mbappe didn't call anything to start with, and if they lose tomorrow, it would have nothing to do with the slight incident between Mbappe and Giroud. Nothing to do. Giroud is going to be on the bench. Yeah, he might not even play tomorrow. He might not even come on.
So
if they lose tomorrow and Giroud doesn't play, it's not because they had that little incident via media a week before. It's not. It would be a week before. That would have no impact on the game whatsoever.
That would be the first thing they go to. If you lose against Germany, you bet your bottom dollar that'll be in the papers the following morning as one of the problems, if not the biggest one.
Jules, let's talk about the lineup though. You keep mentioning that Giroud won't be in that starting 11. Let's talk through this one. Obviously, we're seeing Benzema and Griezmann recovering from minor problems and likely to be starting here.
Yeah, that's right. Up front with Kylian Mbappe. This is the team that we've known. It will start from a few weeks ago. He played like that in the two friendlies that they had against Wales and Bulgaria. It will be quite fluid up front, so we put Griezmann on the graphic as the number 10 in a diamond midfield. When they have the ball, certainly when they don't have the ball, they go back to a 4-3-3 with Griezmann on one side and Mbappe to defend and Benzema central. But there's a lot of fluidity with that front three. And then the only really question mark is in midfield between Corentin Tolisso or Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot, who was a little bit injured and missed the game against Bulgaria. Tolisso, who did well. Again, between Tolisso and Kanté, the advantage you have is that sometimes Tolisso can sit, sometimes Kanté can sit, and if one is sitting, the other one can go forward. You can't really do that with Rabiot. So it will depend. I think Deschamps will probably make a call quite late tomorrow. But that's really the only thing. The rest, the other 10 players, we know who they are and who will start.
I tell you what, Don, no wonder Jules and Frank aren't worried when you look at that lineup.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad, is it? It's not bad. It's a good side. Just going back to what Stevie was saying and the guys were sort of debating there, I find it a little bit strange because the more they talk about the problem or the not problem, the more there is going to be a problem. And I wondered why, and Jules might correct me if I'm wrong, I think jumping on the back of Stevie when Mbappe sort of called his press conference.
No, when you get sat for a press conference, you know that a journalist is going to ask you that question.
Of course, but where's Didier Deschamps saying to the journalist or Kylian Mbappe, do not talk about this subject? It needs to be buried as quick as possible. So I wonder where it's actually going.
So how does that situation work then in France, Jules?
So Mbappe wanted to come on Thursday last week to talk about it, and Deschamps said, let's not do that. It was always planning for him to come on Sunday, which he did, and we knew that he would have questions on PSG and his future and maybe moving. That he would be asked about Giroud, and I think he prepared it. And the line is that he said, I was a bit upset, a bit affected. That's why he said he used the word affected. But that was it. He also said that it's all forgotten, it's finished, it's over, they're all over it. So I don't know why we're talking about it on Monday, but that's what he said on Sunday. And I really don't think there's a story there. But maybe the boys are right. Maybe Mbappe should not have come on that day to do that presser. They could have easily waited post-Germany game, for example, in between the two games, between the Germany and the Hungary game. I don't know if it's good timing or not good timing, but I really think we're making a lot of it when right now I think it's really forgotten and there's nothing in there anymore.
The good thing to know, Jules, is that if France lose, these boys will definitely let you forget it, I'm sure. These are the match odds. How do you see this game?
We're still in the tournament anyway.
Just one observation. Tolisso in the lineup. I think if he qualified for Germany, he wouldn't be near the Germany lineup. So that tells you, it's one angle looking at the two teams. I think Germany are going to win. I think Germany are going to make home advantage. And I know that goes against the grain in general. Because I think that this is actually a good Germany team. They haven't always shown it. But I think Müller being back, I think Hummels being back, I think very important, experienced players in a tournament situation. And wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say Germany.
You're basically saying this Kylian Mbappe, Giroud thing's affected France.
Well, I'll let you guys say
There's a fire.
I think the nice thing and the nice point that you did make was the veterans coming back and obviously making a difference there.
Yep.
Would you agree with Derek?
I wouldn't. I'd go for a narrow French win. I think Germany will sit in for long periods, try and eke their way into the game. I find it strange when I look at Kimmich's position, because I think you're wasting his talent for a position where you could have Klosterman who can get up and down that right-hand side. And I think with Joshua Kimmich, he's a Philipp Lahm, you play him anywhere and he'll certainly do the role justice. But I think you either play him right back or you play him in the centre of the park. So I find that one a little bit strange. How you're going to get the best out of Joshua Kimmich in a position where normally they're for straight-line runners.
Stevie?
You can't go for Germany.
I just did.
How can you go for Germany?
Can they get anything?
He's going to look a genius, though,
You
isn't
look
he?
at the two teams, you look at the cell. The French know exactly what they're doing. The French know exactly who's playing, who's not playing. The French probably sitting there, half the bench knows that he might come on if certain positions are happening. Whereas you go to Germany, we don't even know the lineup. We don't even know where one of your best players is playing. How can they be in a better position to win the game than France? I just don't see it. France won the game. It could be close, but I don't see Germany winning.
Archie, could you give any love for Germany here?
I do lean towards France, as much as I myself was trying to fan the flames earlier. I think Stevie's logic there is one that resonates with me as well. The fact that Germany aren't fully together with their automatisms, as they like
But they are in
to call
Munich.
it over here.
They are in Munich, Archie. Does that not help?
Yeah, it could. I think a big factor is going to be, how is this crowd in Germany going to respond to the team? What kind of atmosphere will they create? I've seen a quote from a local mayor here today saying that if Germany score, fans should not high-five one another. They should be able to just put their arms up and celebrate. And I think that the problem is, if that's the kind of approach that Germany fans come to this game in, then I would be licking my lips if I was a French player. Germany needs to make this a difficult atmosphere. I don't think they will. And I think that I lean towards a score draw, let's say. I'll sit nicely on the fence that Derek has left.
OK, well, at least there's a draw there. Our two Frenchmen. Starting with you then, Frank. How do you see it going?
Well, I was hoping they would never ask me who will win and who I thought will win, you know, because of course I will go for France. You know, I would be crazy to say otherwise. But you have to respect Germany. I mean, when I see the lineup, it's a very good team, and everything is possible. And as Archie said, you know, they play at home. Depending on how the fans react, you know, it can be a plus. That's for sure. And we know that this season we had more win away from home when you had no fans, but when you had fans, we could see the difference. So France will have to do everything like they normally do to win, but Germany will have to really resolve one problem. It's Mbappe. When you play at home, you open up, you play a little bit too far up, and then you have a counter-attack. And how you deal with Mbappe, that's the main concern that every team in the world will have against France, and where mostly they didn't resolve. So I will give a 2-1 to France.
OK, Jules, if there's anything I can take from this, it's that you're not worried for France tomorrow.
No, I'm not worried. And no one is worried in France, but we're not too confident, not overconfident. I think France will win. I don't think it'll be easy because I agree with Derek. I think this is a really good Germany team, a better team than people make them out to be. I still think France have too much, and I think that back three, Archie was saying the French don't often face a back three, which is true, but I think this suits us so well because I think Griezmann, Mbappe and Benzema can have a lot of fun in what is still a very shaky defense for the Germans.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.